You're tuning into.
You're now tuning into
CodenameZ.
And welcome back, everyone.
Hi.
We're in a new location. We're in the ghetto right now.
Okay,
So
thank you.
We gotta
We're in
make this quick.
my area, and
It's gonna be a 10-minute podcast.
we're also recording this the day that's coming out.
Right, yeah. So this is same day. This is very professional stuff here. This is how the real talk shows do it.
I mean, we're talk show.
Right.
Yes.
Might as well just went live.
I mean, we are at this point. Let's call us Wendy.
Right.
Honestly, with the way they be getting guest hosts, we might be the next guest host of Wendy.
Right. I know. Just submit our audition tickets.
They call everybody.
At this point, Wendy coming back next season.
People have to call Joan Rivers. Like, God, they call everybody. But welcome to the podcast. I feel like we didn't introduce.
All right. I'm Tyrone.
And I am Basil Anthony.
And this is CodenameZ,
The podcast.
live from...
I couldn't think of a location. Live from Beverly Hills.
Okay.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, gosh. So, we have some interesting... I think we're going to, once again, if you don't remember, we kind of have changed the show format a little bit. We're going to be more variety style. Kind of like The View. So, no, not The View. we need
the talk.
Yelling at us the whole time.
We're more like the talk. They just all get along.
Yeah.
Except for when they didn't.
I was about to say they get along.
Which I already dragged Sharon. I'm not going to drag Sharon again.
But anyway, so one thing that was on my mind over the weekend is I was having a conversation with some people, and the idea of this article I read came out, and it was about monogamy, and it was pretty much that a lot of psychologists believe that monogamy isn't really something that's natural to humans, and that we force ourselves into monogamy or into marriages or long-term relationships when that's really against our own human nature. And that's probably why so many people, like, divorce rates are high, or so many people cheat, or there's infidelities and stuff. So what do you think about that?
Coming from someone who is monogamous and won't be sharing my person.
Nope.
Sound
effect for that, but go ahead.
Because you're gonna be petty.
No, I was gonna put it's a no for me. It was gonna be.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say because normally you're being petty, but let that go. But no. Again, coming from someone who is monogamous, I believe in monogamous relationships. I don't believe that everyone. That's their thing. That's not everyone's prerogative.
Right.
Like, I listen to Bob the Drag Queen and Monet's podcast. Mm-hmm. And, Bob is non-monogamous. He has different partners, and his partners has partners. And, I mean, they seem to be doing really well. Right. I don't know how well I would do with that. Because, I want my person to be my person, and that's about it. Don't leave nowhere else. Don't talk to nobody else. Don't look at nobody else. Stick over here.
Right.
But I think people who say that, as people we're not meant to be monogamous, I think those are people who just want to cheat.
You're irking.
Because, this is my thing too. I feel like if you fall out of love with someone, that's different. Right. Let's say I do get married, or you get married or something like that, and 20 years down the line, you're not in love with that person anymore. It's like, okay, maybe I want to go to someone new. I don't think that it's like you fell out of love. It's like it's a warranty, like the warranty expired.
Right. Or maybe it's not even falling out of love, but it could be just you're bored. Like, I
mean, even when people are on board in a relationship, it's like, okay, but you can do things to spice it up to make it a little bit different.
I mean,
to an extent.
At the 75 years with the same, it's like, what are we going to do?
If we made it 75 years at this point, we're just going to die together.
We have swung from every chandelier for 75 years. What are we going to do now?
Listen, no, because you're not going to put me in no Will Smith Jada situation. First of all, not hitting the table. Loud. Don't. Okay. James.
James.
But no, I'm like, you're not gonna put me in a Will Smith situation where y'all been together for so long, and don't turn me down. How dare you?
No, you were spiking very bad. Oh. First of all, these things are supposed to happen behind the scenes. You're not supposed to comment on them.
Now it's in front of the scenes.
Okay. Well,
you're not the producer of anything. Not the producer of anything. First of all,
he produced anything.
I'm sorry. This is my. The LLCs in whose name? Thanks so much. Anyway,
the LLC that don't exist. Right? That do not exist.
Anyway, like I was saying before, First of all, if you make it 75 years, we just had to die together. I'm sorry. I'm not about to do this with you. I'm not gonna find nobody else in 75. No.
People split up at the 50. What was that old couple that split up? What are some old people?
You can say that like I know
old people that split up.
Those old people, like I don't know. Like I don't know. I think getting bored is a little bit different, but I think people are like, oh no, I'm not gonna like you. Like if I'm in a relationship, I'm not looking at nobody else.
Right.
I think the only time I would be looking at somebody else is in the event that like I feel like this relationship has run its course,
right?
And I just don't feel the same way I feel about you, and it's like maybe we should just separate ways. But also depending on like, and I mean, if your partner also is like, I still find you attractive, and it's like, ooh, let's see what we can do. Maybe
so about that, right?
Yeah, like maybe let's see what we can do about. Because I feel like there's things you can do. Like I mean. I don't know, couples therapy, stuff like that. Like, I think there's things you can do before it's like, let's get a third person, let's get a fourth person. Or pull a Wendy Williams and, go to Montego Bay. Wait, is that in the U.S.? Huh? Montego Bay, is that in the U.S.? That's not in the U.S.
Let's just move on, babe. So let's just move on.
No,
I'm not even going to
don't do this.
For you. Let's just move on.
I just start pulling, like, locations.
Jamaica?
Oh, it's from Jamaica.
I can't. We need to get this passport so we can start traveling because. No.
Anyway, like what he said, go somewhere.
Should I tell them the cruise?
Leave it. Listen, that'll be another episode, another day, and another hour. Then we will talk about me not knowing
where Hawaii is.
Leave me alone. I don't know geography.
Oh my god.
Okay, but yeah, like I would say, like or pull up Wendy Williams. Be like, all right, let's go to Montego Bay somewhere. Find a third, and then we get back home. We don't talk about it. You don't talk to them. You better not be sending no international letters.
International letters.
No, like maybe that.
First of all, international. What decade are we in? International letters, like.
Oh, those are little love notes, Go to the local CVS, grab you a card, send it to Jacob. Jacob in Montego Bay.
But it's like I don't know. I feel like, of course, everyone is different. I mean, I think they may have a point. When,
I think if you're non-monogamous, that's just you.
Right. But I do think that they do have a point. Now, like I said, I think some people have the ability or the desire to be monogamous more than other people that will allow you to, like, not cheat on your partner every 5 minutes when you're in a monogamous relationship. But I do feel like there is something to say about, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I do think that they may be correct, but I do think that it's just a level of self-control, and then it's a level of preference. Like, people who want to be monogamous are okay with that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's okay. They're okay with not, I guess, having those other, succumbing to those other desires about other people, because I don't know, like, I'm a monogamous person. Like, I tend to not really even think about other people if I'm, like, talking to one person or something like that. But
same.
Other people, I don't know. But that's why I think it's all about, I think people nowadays, because for so long, whether it be whatever type of societal standard you think about, for so long people kind of forced themselves into these little boxes where they thought, like, okay, I have to get married and have 2.5 children, which I still don't understand that half children thing. Why they say that's the average? Like, how do we have half a child?
When it turns 6, you give it away.
I know. Here you go. But I don't know. But yeah, but I think that's why a lot of people who really aren't monogamous and not comfortable with that force themselves into monogamous relationships, and then it's just a disaster.
Yeah, like I feel like if you're flat out and just say it. Right. Then that's fine. But I think, a lot of people they push themselves to be in this relationship. They know they're going to probably cheat or they're going to look somewhere else. Right. It's like, I would just say that to the person and give them the option. Because, I had my situation, and we're not going to talk about that in the podcast. Yep.
What situation? Oh.
Yeah.
that was just...
And that was, I had that situation where it's like...
That was just a
weird situation.
Situation that was
Cheatiation,
was claimed to be agreementation.
That was
an agreement.
That was a document that person filled out themselves, and signed themselves
between themselves and that person, not their partner.
And that's the thing. Like, and then once they told me about that, I was like, "Yep, not okay with it." And we moved forward. We moved on past that, and I waited till they were actually single.
Right.
At that point, and then we, later on, again, just too far into my personal life.
Right.
But yeah, like, it's like, all you have to do is let the person know. Like, that's how, like, people who are like, oh, he's just a man whore, and he's just this, he's just that. And it's like, or maybe he's just non-monogamous, but he doesn't know how to say that to y'all.
Right.
So when you see this cute person, this cute guy, this cute girl, this cute whoever, right. And you're like, oh my God, they're cute. If they would just be flat out like, oh yeah, like, I'm interested in a relationship, but just to let you know, I'm not monogamous, so I'm not going to be with one person solely.
Right.
Everyone's fine. I mean, you know what kills me about that? Like, I mean, if you think, okay, this is about to be really bad again.
Oh gosh.
You think to like people who are Muslim, right? Sometimes Muslim men can have multiple partners, and no one really, in some forms, but no one really sees the problem with that. And sometimes the Muslim women don't really see a problem with it, and everyone's fine with it because it's like an agreed upon thing.
It's like a cultural standard.
Yeah, it's a cultural thing. It's a culture agreed upon, and they're already okay with it.
Right.
But when you think of someone who is just random, and it's like, oh no, he just cheats. It's like, he's not just cheating. He just doesn't want to be with one person. But if he told you that,
right,
it gives you the opportunity to be like, either I'm okay with this or I'm not okay with this.
Right.
Right. And I think that's all I'd be asking. Like, just tell the person, because then you have the option to know, am I okay with this or I'm not okay with this.
Yeah, and that's what I think is, it's all about, communication. And then that's what I said, because there's so many people out here who are open to, like, open relationships or polyamorous relationships. And it's just like, because you're not being honest with yourself about what you want, now you're constantly dating people who want monogamy and just constantly cheating on them. And it's just like, you could save them a lot of hardship and you a lot of hardship of getting your windows bust out your car by just finding someone that's like...
Also, can we say this, please? Don't commit violent acts because he don't want to be with you.
Right,
like, just
she don't want to be with you, or they don't want to be whoever.
Just be sad, eat ice cream like me, and stay in your room.
Sad. Or don't be sad, just move on. There's plenty.
No, you can be sad.
There's plenty of fish in the sea.
Yeah, not that many fish.
There's plenty of humans in the earth. There's plenty. I just made that so.
Well, can I be fine? I want to find some Rome Flynn fish, but until that happened, just be sad about it. Please don't be out here busting windows out the car. Like, that was a cute song, but like, let's not.
Right.
Okay.
That is a good song. I'm gonna listen to that.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, move on.
Don't be turning into Beyonce Lemonade.
Yes, please.
But yeah, it's just like, I think, and that's another question. So the difference between polyamorous and open relationships, the difference, in my understanding, is polyamorous people tend to have multiple partners. An open relationship has one partner, but y'all are allowed to do what you do.
Yeah. I know a lot of people who are like that. It's like they never have a threesome or anything like that.
Yeah,
it's just like, Johnny goes with whoever he want to go to, and Stacy go whatever she want to go to, and it doesn't intermingle.
Right. It's more so. I think of an open relationship. Maybe correct me if I'm wrong in the comments if y'all figure out how to comment, because we still don't. Or on YouTube, comment on YouTube. Or
come to the Instagram page.
Oh yeah,
you can comment on it. It's when we post.
But correct me if I'm wrong. I think of an open relationship as more of a sexual thing versus polyamorous more of a like relational thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, an open relationship is more so like sexual open, and like you basically can go hook up.
Yeah, like you hook up and then you like come back home. I mean, we all saw that Black Mirror episode.
Oh right. For real though.
So, but yeah, no, because we probably like, I know, like, we like people, I know my friends who are Muslim, and they talk about they're not, every woman's not in the house at the same time, and they're not all like, it's not like this big huge thing. It's like, no, they split their times up evenly, and then provide whatever they're going to provide to each one.
Right. But before we go to our break, I just want to say I still want to pitch my idea, and I'm on record saying this. I do think that we should have a reality show about melandery. I think that's what it's called, with some brother husbands. It's when people have.
Thank you guys for listening. We're gonna go to our ad.
Y'all don't think that would be an interesting show? There are some women who have multiple husbands.
We'll see you after the break.
Okay.
I know it ain't a sponsorship. This week's episode is sponsored by the Anchor app. What is the Anchor app, you may ask? The Anchor app is a free mobile application that you can use to make your own podcast, just like the one you're listening to right now. Available on the app and Google Play Store. Download it today and start your own podcast. Get podcasting, and now back to the show.
Did you welcome back? You're irking.
All right, so it's about time to talk.
Just kidding. That's why we don't let you start segments.
Oh, first of all, we, as in, like, if I'm not, first of all, the executive producer of the show. Anyway.
Executive producer?
Again, who's the LLC naming?
You don't have an LLC. There's no LLC.
There is an LLC. Thank you. In the works. Moving on. So, I would like to talk about something. So, I want to talk about compromising, specifically in relationships, right? Mm-hmm. Because this is something I was thinking about randomly because, talking to the person I'm talking to, and everyone mind their business. And we were not romantically, not that person. You know who I'm talking about.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Autumn. Because.
What? Okay, now I'm confused.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I know what you're saying.
That's what I'm talking. Anyway.
Oh.
Dang. Yes. No.
Oh.
Jesus Christ.
Why?
Yes.
Okay, now I got it.
Damn.
I was so confused.
Think differently. Oh my goodness. But so thank you. Quite on set. So yeah, I was going to talk about compromises just because. So it's kind of a conversation that I had with this person, and something that kind of hits near and dear to the heart because I feel like in most relationships or interactions in general, I'm always the person to compromise, and I feel bad because sometimes I want to. Like, I don't want to compromise sometimes, sometimes I'm like, I don't want to. Like, you compromise for me, I don't want to compromise for you. Like, we just talked about this the whole, we both sleep with TV on.
Right.
And I don't think there'll be a compromise for me to sleep with TV off.
Right.
Because I would feel uncomfortable. And, I feel like even for them, it might be uncomfortable for them to sleep with TV on. Right. So it's like, at that point, who compromises and what do you do? Right. Because I'm not going, and even if I'm not listening to TV, I might throw out like an earpod on or something like that and then listen to something, a podcast like this one you're listening to right now. Listen to it and go to sleep like that because it's, the talking aspect, or maybe turn like a little light on just so I can have like the movement or whatever. Right. But if I was married to somebody, I'm not doing that every day for the rest of my life. Yeah. But so how do you feel about compromise in general first?
I think compromise is a good thing depending upon what it is. Like, I think in every relationship, whether it's a romantic relationship, friends or family, there's going to be some type of compromises. If you're not a selfish person, you're going to compromise some.
Oh, call me selfish. Okay.
But like I already said, the sleeping thing, I'm not being hot and I'm not sleeping with no TV. I'm not about to be hot, awakened in the dark. No, with nothing on. So, like, I already said I would be a big proponent. If it's not working out with the sleeping, a lot of married couples nowadays are doing, like, separate rooms. Like, they're not exactly sleeping in the same room. I would be down with that because you're not about to mess up my sleep for the rest of my life. Like, no.
Yeah, no, I can't. Like, not going to happen. Yeah, like, that, another thing, too, the heat thing. Like, I mean, it's warmer here now because it's obviously winter. Right. But, like, listen, the heat might be on for, like, a little bit just to keep you a little toasty. Yeah, when I go to bed, that heat is off.
Well, I was going to say, I barely had my heat on.
Because you can put a blanket on. Right. They made blankets for a reason. You can put a blanket and some socks on if you just that cold.
Right. But I do think that there's certain things that you shouldn't compromise with in life. Like anything that's like, your morals or
religion. I feel like I would never compromise on religion.
Crime.
Okay.
Like, stop being out here trying to be trap queens and kings. Like, no.
That's not even a compromise for me. First of all, it's like in order for us to be together, you're gonna have to rob banks and sell weed. I'm not compromising on that because I'm not doing it. I'm not gonna turn it to no, thank you.
I'm not turning it into a drug dealer. No, thank you.
But like, I think some compromises are healthy because like for me, I do love Christmas. I do believe that it's not counting right now. Not counting right now. Thank you. I do believe that Christmas decorations should not go up until December 1st.
November 1st?
December. What a date. Anyway, December. And with my family, we've always done it like, the first weekend in December.
Right.
The only reason I have things up now is just because like I was testing things out, but obviously, I'm not fully decorated.
Right.
But, that's something for me. It was like, I don't think we should. Now, if someone comes and is like, oh, let's do it in November, a psychopath that I'm dating, I don't know. It's like, hey, let's start, decorating.
People decorate November.
I'm just trying to think, is this my segment or your segment?
It's not either. We don't own the segments.
Anyway, like that's something I would compromise on. Like, okay, maybe like they say, okay, let's do this. I say no December 1st. You say November 1st. That's okay. How about midway through November? How about that? Or right before Thanksgiving, and then we compromise to see where we're going to go because I'm still not going to say November 1st, and you're not going to say December 1st.
If I'm in a relationship with someone, it's November 1st.
I'm sorry.
Or it's a divorce. Say no, or it's a divorce.
I'm just saying. So, where's your relationship? You're single? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
that's why. Because
you're a psychopath. Because you're a psychopath that loves November, decorating for like we don't have Thanksgiving.
The last 5 people I dated, that's why I broke up with them because they said December
Bye.
1st. They said December 1st.
First of all, True T hasn't even been 5 people.
I know it's only been 1.
Not even 1. Bye. Don't start lying for the podcast. Don't start. Nobody knows you. Don't start lying for the podcast.
It was that one.
Yeah, that one. Anyway, because this another.
No, I'm talking about semi-relationships.
I guess. And
I won't.
Nope.
Do you want to talk about
who?
Book?
No.
Book?
No.
Your dictionary.
First of all, I don't date people. Thank you so much. Anyway, yes, my very thin 1-page notebook. My little thin 1-page notebook. But anyway. But yeah, like I think that's a healthy compromise that we can compromise on. It's like, okay, let's see when we want to decorate. That's a compromise I'm willing to take. Maybe traditions, of like what y'all do when the holidays. I might, compromise on that. Maybe it's like, oh, like if you want to let's go to your parents' house this Thanksgiving, then my parents next Thanksgiving, or I'll do Thanksgiving with your parents. You do December. First of all, you do Christmas with my family, something like that.
Right.
But I wouldn't compromise. Like if I dated someone who's Muslim, I'm sorry, I don't want to be Muslim.
Yeah, that's all.
I wouldn't do that. If you're Jewish, I don't want to do that. Like I'm fine with being what I am. I mean, I'm not even fully I'm spiritual. I don't know.
He's spiritual.
I don't know, because I know. Like I mean, I believe that I believe there is a God. Do I believe it's whatever y'all talk about in the Bible? No. I don't go to church. You know that, because I feel like church for me is like an evil place most times. I do. Like I feel like I feel about this, and this would be another podcast episode. I feel like when it comes to church, I feel like a lot of people who go there and proclaim a lot just be a little evil. But no, in general, like that stuff I probably wouldn't compromise on. Or I don't even know, maybe a way of cooking. Maybe it's like, oh, someone's like, oh, I really love, I don't know, cabbage stew. I don't know. What? And they like, oh, we have cabbage stew every Wednesday. I might compromise to have some cabbage stew every Wednesday if it's good. But big things I'm not compromising on. I also feel like it's not it's not a bad thing to be like, I don't want to compromise. Like, it's like, I mean, I've gotten to the point now where when it comes to dating that I don't want to compromise. Like, if we can't do this my way, then it's just, there's the highway.
Right.
Jump in the car. Book it. Yeah,
but I think I don't think there is a such thing as a relationship without compromise. Like, if you're going to say that you don't want to compromise with anything, then I think that means you're more of a monogamous person, because I don't think it's possible to live with another person, and I don't know. I think it's not very likely that you're going to find someone that you agree upon and do everything, the same exact way. Yeah. So you're going to have there's going to be some level of compromise, but there's certain things, like, first of all, sexual stuff, if it's beyond your comfort level, you shouldn't. Like, if you're a monogamous person and now you marry someone and they're be like, okay, now I want to add in 7 other people, be like, that's not what we talked about. So
yeah, no.
I don't think you have to compromise with things that really just make you feel uncomfortable. And yeah, I just think there's a level to compromises, and your compromises shouldn't compromise you. Oh, I like that. I like that.
Only one clapping is for yourself. Don't.
Thank you for joining my TED Talk. Thank you. My relationship TED Talk.
Hand me that plate real quick. You thought you ate? Give me that plate. Thought you ate. Go sit down.
That was good. I like that. I'm gonna write a book. Your compromises shouldn't compromise you.
Yeah. Okay. But then I don't know, because sometimes people think little things are like a like some things I feel like just don't have to be a compromise. Like if I tell you I don't want to talk about a certain situation, I'm just not talking about that situation. There's not a compromise. Well, let's talk about what I don't want to talk about it.
Well, yeah, that's different.
Boom. Or I don't want to have a conversation.
Right.
I'd rather compromise with you and talk about something I don't want to.
Right.
You know, or if you get on your soapbox and want to talk about something and I don't want to listen to it.
But what things are you talking about though? Like
anything that I just don't feel like, anything that I feel like is not that serious or I don't care about.
Now that's not. I don't know. I mean, that's why I say everybody has different views of relationships, but I don't think that's
like, okay, let's
cool.
say
I don't know, like
oh, not cool. Wow, drag me.
No, it's not that's not cool, but it's just like if something is really, I don't know, like I said, I don't know what type of examples you're talking about, but like if something is really important to your partner or is really bothering them, and you just be like, I don't find it that big of a deal.
Like
I
don't care.
Talk to you about it.
So no, like okay, let's say for example, you wanna like okay, let's say I want to talk about the baby, and you're like I don't care about the baby. I don't want to talk about him. Okay, fool. I'm not gonna talk about it with you. Or like, but like, because I don't. If you say I'm not interested and had a conversation, okay, not big conversation. If I say like I think our relationship is dwindling, and then you say I'm not interested in that conversation, then you're just an asshole.
Right. Well, yeah, because I think.
But like, if you want to get on a soapbox and it's like, oh well, let me tell you why this part of Black America is this. Let me explain the history of this. I don't care.
Right.
I don't care.
See,
I'm sorry, and I don't want to. I don't care.
Totally different thing. Like I don't think that's. I don't even think that really falls into the level of compromises. I think that just falls into the level of like interest. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know because
I mean I can talk about things I'm not interested all day, but there's certain things that I don't want to just because I feel like that's something that keeps coming up, and it's like I'm sorry, I'm not interested in talking about it. Then it's like, well, no, if I listen to what you're talking about, you listen to what I'm talking about. I'm like, okay, but I changed topics.
Right.
I switch it up.
Right. But then I
talk about things that are relevant.
Well, then maybe that goes into a deeper thing of like either morals or what's like important to you. Because if like I don't know, if you are talking to someone and they talk all day long about certain social issues and you don't, or they like to talk about certain social issues and you don't want to talk about that issue. Maybe it's not necessarily like the conversation. Maybe it's a difference of what y'all find
interesting.
Yeah, or like relevant or important. And if it goes to deep stuff like that, then maybe that is a further conversation to have about, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like, I'm thinking of something like politics or something. And if, I don't know, someone comes out with a whole Donald Trump outfit and you be like,
yeah, we're not compromising with that.
Like, yeah, like it's not even I don't want to talk about Donald Trump. I'm like, I don't want to really date a Donald Trump supporter. Yeah.
Or another.
I have a little question for you.
No, hold on.
Wait. Oh my God. Go ahead. What were you about to say?
No, I was gonna say like, okay, let's say also this. You know, this year I moved. Mm-hmm. You know, and I don't particularly like going to other people's houses. You know, I'd rather be home because now I'm like, I have my own place now. I'd rather come there, especially like if you live with your parents. I'm like, I know how it is to live with parents, so like I don't want to do that. So I don't like compromising to going to other people's houses for the most part until we're really fully into something.
Right.
I don't want to.
I'm the opposite. Like I don't want people coming to my house until we. And I'm like, yeah, you can stay at my house. Like,
But yeah, that's something I'm not really willing to compromise on. Because if it's like, I can say you come over here, and you say, oh, you come to me, and it's like, well, I guess we ain't seen each other then.
You
because I'm not going over there. I'm sorry, I'm not leaving my home.
Oh my gosh! But
yeah, what was your question?
Yeah, my question. I think it's a different. Like, I think that I could. Let me be very careful about this, because not to certain extents, but I could probably date someone that's a conservative, or let's just say a different political thing than me, because I think it's levels to the conservative stuff. Like, you ain't about to be out here basically with almost a KKK hat on, like conservative level, like far. But you know what I'm saying, like. But
I also feel it'd be very interesting to figure out how y'all met and like.
Right.
Like, did you meet at a KKK rally or
the one black inductee? Like, let me say, but no, but yeah, I think it's like. That's why I think they said a lot of divorces actually happened at the 2016 election, and I think it's because the Donald Trump stuff is an outlier. Like, that stuff was just way extreme. Like, we're two polar opposites. But like, if we disagree on like small things, okay, for example, this is not a romantic relationship, but it's a family relationship. I have a cousin that I'm like very close with, and like I love hanging out with them. Like, nothing has changed, but we may have a little different thinking on, like, I don't know, things like the vaccine. I've gotten the vaccine, they didn't get the vaccine. They feel like, you know, people should wait, but
say their name.
Whatever, no, it's not that serious. But
Jacob.
But the thing is, it's like, it's not that serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's certain things where you can be like, oh, we just have a difference of opinion. Oh, well, let's go get a drink. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's certain things just like, it's not so deep, and especially when you align in other places. So I think those are good examples, like, where two people can have like slightly different opinions on things, but it's not that big of a deal, and both people understand the other person's position. Like, I think it's okay, and people should probably get it, and I got it, but I'm not going to like say like, oh, you're dead wrong for not getting, you know what I'm saying? Like, and certain different little things like that. So I think I don't know. And I kind of think the same things with relationships. It's like, it's the level of difference. You know what I'm saying?
I also think it depends on your behaviors. Like, I don't particularly care if you get the vaccine or not, but if it's like you don't get the vaccine, then you're also, you know, going to Astro World. I mean, there's more than one thing that could have happened to you there, right. But it's like, don't come back to my house because you was out there just gallivanting around, right. not a mask in sight.
But then there's a lot of people. So like, what if the person doesn't believe in masks?
I mean, listen, coming from someone who doesn't particularly care for masks either, I don't like them, but I still put it on when I have to go, when necessary, I need to put it on.
Right.
If you like, I just don't believe in it at all, you got to get out of my house.
Right. I don't believe it.
Because as much as like, I don't want to catch it and everything, and I would love to take the mask off. In certain situations when it's like required, or you have to.
Right.
Like, it'll be fine. You know, it'll be fine.
Right. But yeah, so I think it's the the level of the compromise and what we're compromising on, because it's like certain things you can have different, but it's, you know, it's whatever. But I think that's all I have today. But do you have any other comments?
I do not. You know, I'm already ready to record next week, because you already know what we're talking about next week. We'll talk about it later.
I'm about to say me over here confused. I'm like, what?
We're not gonna listen, because we might not talk about it. Then we're not gonna give y'all the satisfaction of them like, we're wrong. Anyway, I want to say thank you guys for listening to the podcast.
Thank you all.
Post it to your stories. Tell your friends, your moms, your grandmoms, aunts, uncles, cousins, all about it.
And keep listening.
Like, subscribe.
To the end.
Yes, all the way to the end. Because now, if you didn't listen to the end, we have a special guest.
Right. Beyonce.
We have a special VP Kamala Harris. No,
right.
But yeah, listen, subscribe. Come back next week and keep on podcasting if you are going to podcast, and keep doing what you're doing. You're loved. You're great.
Okay,
and
the longest outro I've ever seen in my life.
Follow us on social media at CodenameZ Podcast on YouTube and Instagram. and the Anchor app, and Spotify, and Apple
Google
Podcasts,
Music.
and
Apple Podcasts.
Apple whatever, Apple something.
Apple, wherever y'all listen to your
Google
music,
Apple, and then Google us.
Right. All right, guys. See y'all.
Bye.